To try and get a sense of where our markets could be headed from here, we have Dhananjay Sinha, co-head of equities at Systematics Group, joining us on the show. And Dhananjay, hi, good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. Give us a sense of the kind of market move we're seeing, so many days in a slump, and the day where we're hit with the actual tariff number. Speculation was built throughout and we were in a slump, but the day we get clarity, even though it's a 25% number, the markets have, taken it very well, taken it on the chin, and they've, just been up and away. So what's your take on the market today? And do you believe now this could be the move going ahead where we see some positivity? Is that here to stay?
So I think the market has been fairly lackluster after the initial rebound from the April lows and stuff. So if you look at last month and a half, I think it has been fairly lackluster with a drift downwards. I think hence I would say the news about the US tariff was also in a way kind of priced in because this uncertainty on the global trade front was actually building up. And I think when the announcement came with the 25% tariff and additional sort of penalty as well, I think the market really sort of at least reacted in a way that a lot of this was priced in, and hence the initial reaction to the news essentially translated into some comfort that least one knows that this is the worst case scenario that one can look at. So I think it's an unwinding of the stress that's been there. I think the underlying thing for the market is to really look at the earnings trajectory that has been panning out. And if you look at the broader context of various industries that have actually announced results, it does look to be a fairly modest performance. So we'll have to see whether the outlook in the coming quarters sort of improves or not. I think the communication from the management has been sort of mixed, but by and large, it still doesn't give us a sense that a major rebound in earnings can happen anytime soon.
Well, indeed, the long term will depend on the earnings, and that's where you should take the call on. And a lot of earnings that will be underway even in today's trading session. We'll talk all of that. But before that, let me welcome Akshay Bhagwat, Senior Vice President, Derivative Research at JM Financial, joining us on the show. Hi Akshay, good afternoon, and great moves rather on the markets with respect to the recovery. But believe that in the last half an hour or so, we are getting to see a lot of this expiry action also in play. What's the understanding on the index level, Akshay, right now?
So good afternoon. As you saw on Tuesday, you had the Sensex expiry, and today is the monthly expiry for Nifty. So both these days have been kind of days where volatility has caught the street by surprise, because July was a month where volatility was tamed on the weekly expiry day. So last couple of expiries for the indices have seen large moves. So today, despite of a negative price sentiment which we started the day, the markets have given a thumbs up reaction, and we are trying to kind of again get about the psychological 25,000 mark. So yes, if we were to approach the August series, the first caveat or the condition is that the markets should manage to sustain about 25,000, because this is expiry. So expiry days sometimes moves can take you on the wrong foot. So it is best that we first see the rollover data. As of now, rollovers are in line, longs are being slowly added in today's trading action. But once price confirms that it settles about 25,000 tomorrow, that will be the first signal that possibly markets have formed a bottom at around 24,700, 750 zone, and that the momentum should see the markets once again getting to levels of 25,500 plus.
25,500, so sounding optimistic on that front. Akshay, but Dhananjay, I want to get your sense on the kind of numbers that we've seen coming in from big companies today. You have numbers from Sun Pharma, HUL. Sun Pharma seems mixed, but HUL largely good set of numbers coming in. What's your take on both of these numbers? If you could tell us what you're making of the management commentaries.
So I think for HUL it's been slightly above expectation. The volume growth we were expecting about 3.5. At the standalone basis, it came around 4%. So that is something that people believe that there is some bottoming out that seems to be happening, and I think the management also is talking about a scenario where the first half of this year could be better than the second half last year. So I think that is the message that has been taken from the management commentary, and also the fact that the stock has been languishing, underperforming for quite some time. So I think together with the management commentary and management change that has happened recently, there has been just a change in leadership out there. So expectations are building up for a better quarters going forward. So that is one. I think they are also talking about a sort of a beneficial cost scenario, and the fact that they would want to focus on premiumization and profitable sort of growth as far as volume is concerned. So I think all those things are being considered when the if you look at the stock response that we've seen. It's quite a significant uptick that we have seen for HUL.
All right, indeed, that's the day coming in on HUL. But other than that, Akshay, a lot of these chemical counters, well, of course, on the back of this tariff announcements, they have been reeling under pressure. And I see that one of the biggest losers rather within the F&O space is Aarti Industries. If you can help us with a chart check on this particular stock.
Yeah. So for Aarti Industries, yes, today's the news has taken a toll on these names. And if you look at the chart structure, the charts have been in a medium-term weakness. The charts have signaled that 460, 470 is a very massive resistance, and multiple times, I think, in the past few months, there have been failures at the levels of 460, which has then resulted in a steep fall in this stock. So there's a negative chart structure which is evident. There is a small support at 400, but I believe it's better to wait and watch, because still the major supports in the stock, as I see, lie somewhere around the levels of 360 to 370.
Okay, so that's the take on Aarti industry and some of those other chemical names that are deeply impacted in today's trading session. Like my colleague Sharad was highlighting earlier, some names like Vinati Organics, Aarti Industries, Deepak Fertilizer, Deepak Nitrite, they all could and are in focus on the back of this tariff news flow coming in. But Dhananjay, before we let you go, what is the sentiment sense that you're getting from the market right now? Because a little bit of a positivity is what we've seen. After the initial first leg of the earnings disappointment that we've seen, the numbers that we've seen this week largely are good, both from the Nifty and non-Nifty 50 group of stocks. Do you believe that now the sentiment is improving, and maybe we spoke about how the markets could react in the near to medium term, but what's your take on how the remainder of the earnings season could go?
So I think it'll be too early to really conclude on a week-to-week basis, how things pan out. So we can't really take a holistic view based on what has happened in this last few days. By and large, there has been sort of a lackluster performance as far as the earning season is concerned. We'll have to see whether I think there is a good amount of space that is still need to be covered in this current earning season, and it will be very premature to really judge that whatever we have seen heard this quarter. And I think even the positive news is not really very very compelling. It's not a significant rebound, even if you consider HUL and a few other names. There is a sort of modest upturn that is there. We'll have to see whether this can continue for the rest of the earnings season or not. I would say in the current quarter, I think the macro data with respect to the credit growth, also whatever we are seeing from the banking sector, it's been fairly modest. And so I think the lead indicators are not very robust. So I would say rest of the earnings will need to be careful about before concluding for the entire season. I think beyond this quarter, people will start, or market will start looking for what is the guidance for the second half, and whether the festival season that are coming up will be better or not. So I think those are the things that we'll need to see. Auto sector, we've seen there has been inventory built up and all. Whether there is more discounts out there, what is happening to the MFIs, NPFC sector, all those things will need to be looked at. I think the expectations on the earnings is very modest. I would say if there are positive surprise that can happen if the commodity prices come down, some margin expansion happens in consumer oriented sectors, I think that can translate into certain positive surprises going forward.
Okay, Dhananjay, I appreciate you joining us and sharing your view with us. On that note, we'll let you go. Akshay, before we come to you for your stock-specific recommendations, let's throw the spotlight on JSW Steel. We are getting word right now that the Supreme Court is hearing review pleas against judgment quashing JSW Steel's resolution plan for Bhushan Power and Steel. It's a positive coming in for the stock, but a very mild spike up is what the stock has seen. If we can have the stock price again on the screen, a 1.5% uptick is what we are seeing when it comes to the stock. And you have Tushar Mehta, who's appealing on behalf of the COC. He's saying that the court has interfered with the commercial wisdom of the COC. The courts cannot interfere with the decision. There was initially an apprehension on whether JSW was competent for this. It was not pressed upon. In the judgment, there are findings after finding with regard to this. The matter is listed for hearing on Thursday next week. That's August 7. So, well, that's the verdict coming in as of now. It's not the verdict, but that's the latest that we're getting from the Supreme Court, wherein they're saying that this is a fit case wherein judgment under review needs to be recalled and it is a matter to be considered afresh. Very positive comments coming in favor of JSW Steel. That stock is seeing a little bit of an uptick right now. But Akshay, we have numbers of Maruti flashing on the bottom of the screen. Before that, Akshay, share with us your stock-specific ideas.
Yeah, so a couple of stocks on the buy side. I have first is Larsen and Toubro, which is buy. Very excellent set of numbers, which we saw day before yesterday. And after that, we saw very strong market reaction post the results, a strong gap up. Today, because of the overall market breadth in the morning, we have seen a slight dip in Larsen. So that makes it a lucrative buy at the current rate. For a possible upside trading target till 3,800, you can maintain a stop loss of 3,592 on this trade. Second trade is in Eternal. So Eternal Limited recently has seen a very strong up move, and after that up move, we have seen a slight correction or a consolidation with the stock prices retracing back to the support zones of 300 to 305. So I believe the momentum will catch up soon, and you might see Eternal getting back to levels of 325. So that's the target area you can work with. Keep a stop loss of 299 on this trade.